So it's a ghost story. And now a little background about me. I have the ability to sense things before they happen. Not like I know what's gonna happen, sometimes I do, but when I don't, I can feel something wrong, like Andrew said. You can feel it. Okay, this time I didn't feel it, alright? So we're in St. Augustine. We all know that St. Augustine is haunted. Cool, okay, so let's go to, you know, the St. Pablo, what was it called? Okay, it's like the castle thing, alright? The fort. Okay, so we're in the fort and then we're doing the tour. Cool.
The ghost tour?
No, the regular tour. Or so I thought, alright? So I thought. Okay, I was on a different tour apparently. So when we went downstairs and when they go to dungeons and where they were torturing people, I had like this immense stare at this one place. And I don't know why it's this place, but it was like the darkest part and then it was like caution everywhere. And I was like, caution? That means my name. Let's go look at it. And I'm like, completely stared into it. And then, you know, a whole bunch of people are around me. This is a tour. Then it's no longer a tour, it is Anna, alone, staring at this thing. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know what's going on, but in my face, I'm just like completely absorbed in this room. And then, like, I feel like a wind, right? And there is no wind because it's a dungeon and the freaking almost underground. So it's like, I can feel something, I'm like, and then no one was around, like, okay, so let me go find somebody. And this guy comes up, dressed completely in the attire that like the tour guide did, but like different. I don't know how it's different, but it's like, I feel like it was more official, right? So I'm like, man, your outfit looks so great. And then he goes, all right, he had like such a deep accent. And I'm like, man, he is so good. And then he's like, I'm gonna show you out of here and this and this and this is gonna go down. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll play into the game of it, right? So all the tour guides, they show you the cannons and all that stuff. Okay, so I go with this guy, all right? I thought he was a tour guide. So I'm going up to this and I'm like, man, you know what? I lost my party. Can you take me there? Like, can you take me to them? He goes, listen, everyone, you're gonna have to be very careful because this and this and this was happening. I'm like, pretty sure this is not happening, all right? Because he's saying it's like we're under attack, right? Because we have to be extremely careful and extremely quiet. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play into your game. It's cool. So he goes and he's like, okay, we're gonna have to try to find these people, your family. I'm like, cool. And then he's telling me about his family. And I'm like, man, this is really deep. This guy is completely in character. I'm loving this. And I'm like, man, he goes, you know, you remind me of my daughter. And this and this and this. No, I miss her so much. And I was like, man, I feel like I miss her too. You know?
One minute?
And then we're like going to each one of the stations, right? He told me about the cannons. He knew too much about the cannons, the way they work, the way they look, and I was like, this is getting weirder. And then it gets night, and I didn't even realize it got that much hours. So it turns night. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. All right, I'm just gonna go. And then I can still hear. I don't know why. I can still hear from before this point. I didn't hear his footsteps. But like from this point, I heard his footsteps coming after me. And I was just like going downstairs. And then I could hear his right behind me. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep going, right? So pop, pop, we're going down. And then I go up to the lady. I'm just like, listen, I want to go. I lost my family. And this amazing tour guide. And then I come out to the thing and I was going to tell him something. And then he was gone. And I was like, there's no way, I just left you here. You were right here when I came inside there. And then I looked and I was like, and I snapped at him for some reason. And then, because I'm like, I don't want to play any more games. I want to go back to my family and I'm not going to play I'm not going to play into this thing anymore. It's not real. This is fantasy. I need to find my family. It's late. And then I snapped at him and then he goes, well, be careful and have a safe night. That's all he said to me. So when I went to the lady, I'm like, listen, like this guy, he was right there, he was a tour guide, and she goes, all the tours ended an hour ago. Your family has been looking for you for hours. And I was like, what? There's no way. I was up there, and then she goes, we have been looking for you everywhere. You can call your parents, and then I'm like, no. This guy, you telling me you don't know this guy? And I'm started yelling at her because she doesn't know, and then I feel like something's wrong. So I call them, and I'm calling my mom, I'm talking Spanish, Mommy, what come in, I'm like screaming at this point. I'm like hysterical. Then I come out, and then like I feel that same gust of wind, and I start bolting. I started bolting so quickly, and I was like, Mom, this and this, and she's like, listen, I already told you, this place was haunted. You didn't believe me. I was like, thanks, Mom. So, that moral of the story is, don't leave your group in a haunted area. Just say it.